This is the worst part of doing it, having to get in front of that.
Well, you know, when you look at
I
something,
freeze
it's
up
only
every
5
time.
people. Good morning.
Hello,
How are
good
you?
morning. Hi, I have a question for you.
Morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us for the Board of Public Works meeting for Friday, May 3rd, 2024. We will formally get started shortly. If you would like to give public comment on general public comment or any agendized items, you may, if you're joining us in person, you may grab a speaker card in the back of the room and bring it up to me. If you are joining us via Zoom, you may press *6 to unmute and *9 to raise your hand and let me know which agenda item you would like to speak on. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us for the Board of Public Works meeting for Friday, May 3rd, 2024. We will get started shortly. If you would like to give public comment and you are in person, you may fill out a public comment card in the back of the room and specify if you're speaking on general public comment or any agendized item. If you are joining us via Zoom, you may press *6 to unmute and *9 to raise your hand and let me know which agenda item you would like to speak on. Thank you. Good morning, President Pro Tem Davis. We are in record mode and ready to formally open the meeting.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the regular scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Friday, May 3rd, 2024. President Garcia and Vice President Villegas are absent today on city business, and I, Mike Davis, President Pro Tem, will chair the meeting today. Ms. Cole, will you please establish roll call and quorum?
Yes, good morning, members of the board. My name is Tansy Cole. I am the Senior Management Analyst with the Board of Public Works, establishing roll call and quorum. We have present with us is Dr. Davis, President Pro Tem Davis. We have Commissioner Corsan, and we have Commissioner Reyes. We also have joining us Deputy City Attorney Adina Hoppenstan, and we do have quorum. Dr. Davis, we do have a general public comment and a couple of public comments on agendized items.
Please forward.
I'll call the first speaker on general public comment, which is Arnold Sachs. You have 2 minutes, Mr. Sachs.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. Arnold Sachs.
Good morning.
Since this is public comment, I'd just like to make some comments. There's been quite a lot of violence going on in the city lately. I don't know if you've noticed that. The fire department is overextended in their hours. The LAPD is overextended in their hours. The city is going downhill so quickly. Ever since they started this shit with the new normal and brought in the KKK, having an African-American dressed up as a KKK Grand Wizard, which was the dumbest motherfucking thing I ever heard of. Even in City Hall, when Herbie Weston was the president of the city council, people were going in the meeting and yelling, nigger, 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 nigger. And nobody said a goddamn thing. I couldn't figure it out. It's so racist. Even Herbie Weston wasn't upset until somebody put some nooses on a comment card. Then he got upset. I can't figure out why nobody would say it. There were city council members that were African American. There were city council members that were Mexican Americans. There was some lady go in there and say, wetbacks. Nobody said a fucking thing. I can't believe it. It's so negative and nasty. It's all about taking care of the unions. Everybody looks after each other. It's all about canceled contracts. The biggest contract was LA Care that Mark Riley Thomas got involved with in 2003 and 4 because he ran a nonprofit at the sports arena for low-income people. And he stole all that goddamn money. But the Affordable Care Act that was passed by Barack Obama was for all low-income people throughout the country. It wasn't for Skid Row. And he killed those people on the Skid Row anyway. Thank you for your time and attention. We need more equality.
Thank you for your time.
So we don't get any more calls, Dr. Davis. We can move on to
Okay, and with that comment, we've not received any other further notification of request to speak, so the public comment is now closed. And we are going to proceed with agenda item 1, BCA and BOE. We have Roosevelt Bagby presenting. Contract acceptance, Sanborn Avenue reconstruction near Washington Boulevard, street improvement. Thank you.
Good morning, President Pro Tem Davis.
Good morning.
To be here this morning.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Corsan, Commissioner Reyes. It's a pleasure to be here. We're going to request the acceptance of a construction contract. This project took place in Council District 11. It's entitled the Sanborn Avenue Reconstruction near Washington Boulevard Street Improvement. And on July 2nd, 2021, this board entered into a contract number C138510 with HZS Engineering Incorporated, DBA HZS Construction, in the amount of $697,879.70. On March 21st, 2022, the construction was completed. Now, this project provided for the reconstruction of Sanborn Avenue, just north of Washington Boulevard. This area had a lot of subsidence. It caused flooding and ponding. So the project went in and removed the sidewalk, the curb and gutter, and replaced the concrete street. The project was awarded for $695,879.70, and we gave us a total construction authorized budget of $835,055.64. There were 6 change orders issued on this contract, which brought our total contract amount to $804,994.45. This project was completed at 15.67% above the awarded amount and 3.61% below the authorized budget. On March 21st, 2022, the final corrections were completed by the contractor. On January 6, 2023, the final release of retained funds was processed. Now, this project was funded by the Capital Improvement Expenditure Program and the Road Maintenance and Rehabilitation Fund. All of the contractor performance evaluation reports have been submitted. There are no unresolved property owner complaints in connection with this project. There are no funds that are disputed, withheld, or due to the contractor. So we are recommending acceptance of this contract.
Okay. Mr. Bagby, when did you state that this project was completed?
Project was completed March 21st, 2022.
And in terms of some of the additional requests for additional funds, what was the basic nature of those requests to come back for additional funds? I know you mentioned $695,000 was the original request for building it financially, and it ended up being $804,000, I think you said. Could you just kind of summarize for us the more recent requests for additional funds?
So what I brought with me today was that there were 6 change orders that totaled $109,069.75. I did not bring the details of those change orders with me.
I see. Any questions from commissioners about item 1? Oh, okay, none. Okay, can we have a motion to accept item 1?
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Kosan and a seconded by Commissioner Reyes to accept item 1. And that
I will tabulate the vote for you,
Sure.
Dr. Davis,
Yeah.
to adopt item number 1, beginning with you, President Pro Tem Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reyes. All ayes, and the item is unanimously adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bagby. Appreciate it. Next, we will have item 2 from the BCA and Bureau of Engineering. In CD 14, this is a contract acceptance, Los Angeles Department of Transportation Bus Maintenance and CNG fueling facility, recommending to the board to accept this contract. Mr. Bagby.
Yes, this project took place in Council District 14. It was for the Los Angeles Department of Transportation. It's their bus maintenance and CNG fueling facility. On July 20th, 2016, this board entered into a contract number C128231 with Sananian Development Incorporated, DBA Sananian, in the amount of $32,104,930. On May 6, 2020, the construction was completed by the contractor. Now, this project provided for a 21,625-foot administration building, which incorporated a maintenance facility, CNG fueling station with extra fuel storage and compressors, also a bus wash building, which also included the washing equipment. There was a parking lot for up to 70 electrified dash buses and also a two-story 98-space parking structure with solar panels, decorative fencing, landscaping. This project also provided for all of the infrastructure that a project of this nature needed, all the electrical power that needed to brought to that location. Now, this project was awarded for $32,104,930, which gave us a total authorized budget of $36,920. I'm sorry, $36,920,669. Now, there were 250 change orders were issued on this project, which gave us the total cost of this project was $36,369,337.40. This project was completed at 13% above the awarded amount and 1.49% below the authorized budget. So, huge difference in this project in the amount of change orders. Generally, when we write change orders on a project, there are three categories that they come in. One is unforeseen conditions, the other is errors and omission, and the big one in this one was the change of scope. So the Department of Transportation changed the scope after it was awarded. So we were going to start with being able to electrify 6 DOT dash buses. Now we can electrify 70 DOT dash buses. And we also have an additional 5 charging stations in the maintenance and operation building. And you can see there in the board report, the $2,340,795 was for those basic changes. That's 7.30% of the original cost of the project. Pretty significant, but that change has to do with all of the additional transformers and switch gears and all the additional equipment that you have to go into in order to support such a facility. The other change orders came up to about 6% of the original cost, which is pretty similar when you compare it to other projects of that large nature. On May 6, 2020, final corrections were completed by the contractor. On July 12, 2021, the final release of retained funds was processed. This project was funded by the Federal Transit Administration Grant Fund, the FTA. All the contractors' performance evaluation reports have been submitted. There are no unresolved property owner complaints in connection with this project, and there are no funds that are disputed, withheld, or due to the contractor. So we also recommend acceptance of this contract.
Great. In terms of the funding, you said federal funding was involved. So could you share with us or explain to us the inclusion that we had as a result of this particular project in the area?
Yes, this project was subject to the city's Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, or our DBE program. Also, it was subject to the Caltrans Race Conscience DBE program. You can see that the participation there of the DBE, the contractor had pledged 0.9%, and his participation levels were 1.48. And for the OBE enterprise, he pledged 59.03%, and the participation was 66.19. So he exceeded all of his pledge numbers.
Wonderful. Any questions of the commissioners about item number 2? Commissioner Reyes.
So you mentioned the reasons for the changes, right? And I would just like to know more about errors and omissions, because that also constitutes a significant factor. What does that mean? I mean, I understand unforeseen circumstances, but errors and omissions is another thing.
So errors and omissions on this project, 3% of the change orders, 3.5% of the change orders were written under the errors and omissions category. The way I view errors and omissions is when you take a look at the design and you go to execute that design in the construction environment, it's not possible to complete the intent of the designer. So then as the team comes back together and they try to understand why it cannot be constructed as indicated on the contract documents, that there is either more information required on the contract documents, or what was included in the contract documents did not provide enough information for that to be completed. Did that help?
So what best practices are you employing to minimize errors and omissions
So
for contracts of this size specifically?
that's an excellent question. The Bureau of Contract Administration, just our responsibility is to ensure that the contractor stays within the requirements and regulations of the contract document. We're not part of the design team, so it'd be possible maybe that some of our designers could explain what process they use to minimize errors and omissions.
That's an expectation from this board. Normally as contracts, for contracts of this size specifically, there should be more monitoring and foresight as to what needs and requirements are going to take place, so that we avoid costly errors and omissions. Because in this contract, there's about 108 of them. So moving forward, we'd like to make sure that that does not happen, or it's minimized early on as the project commences.
Yes, I would agree.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Bagby, I was going to ask about the change of scope. Often that occurs and does also impose additional time on a project. Can you summarize the change of scope that we had on this particular project? Do you happen to have the notes on that?
So primarily the project started with 6 charging stations for a fleet of 6 DOT dash buses. After the project started, the Department of Transportation wanted to change the location from 6 charging stations to 70 charging stations. If you've seen the project, it's at Alameda and Commercial, and you'll see all those up to 70 buses lined up side by side. And then there's also 5 additional charging stations inside the operations and maintenance building. So that was primarily where the cost came from and the whole scope. The other part of that scope that you don't see is all of the underground power that we had to bring in order to support that big charging location there. So it's part of it is the underground scope of bringing in the additional power and then bringing in the equipment that charges the buses.
So we expanded our original plan from the project, and of course, the contractor then adjusts accordingly to the project. Any other questions from commissioners on this item? Okay, hearing none, can I have a second to my motion to accept item? Oh, no, before we go for a vote, I'm sorry.
Yes.
We do
no-
have a card.
No problem. Dr. Davis, we have one speaker. Mr. Sachs, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you. Item number 2. That was an interesting, uplifting presentation. The efficacy of this disaster is mind-boggling. You went from 6 stations to 78 stations. You didn't rebid the project. You just increased the price of the size of the project. Who's going to pay for the utilities? It says on this item, a CNG fueling facility. CNG is supposed to be clean natural gas, but no dash bus in the whole fleet every bus has an exhaust on it. which means they're not burning CNG. CNG does not have an exhaust behind the driver's side. So why is it advertising for CNG facility when you're fucking the public, you're stealing public funds? Just like every goddamn department in the city, you're stealing public funds to waste public money. Is there an agenda item about the number of people that are working? Is there a breakdown? I remember when they were doing the Crenshaw line that was privatized, they were all upset about people in the city not getting jobs because they were going to Orange County. Are these jobs going into Orange County with the Building and Trade Association? It doesn't say. Who's getting the bids? Are you using fathead posters to advertise for the bids? Why don't you do that? Why don't you put up fathead posters around the city where advertising bids? That would be a great idea. I think a fathead poster would go a long way in educating the public on how fucked up the city has become ever since the new normal got into effect. Because somebody killed the secretary's son who was on the city's labor negotiating board, and she couldn't take part in negotiation. It's been
Your
fucked
time is
for
up,
5
Mr. Sachs.
years.
Thank you.
Dr. Davis, I'm sorry, if you can just move again on that item.
Yes, absolutely. I wanted to second to my motion to move item number 2. And did we?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion, second to my motion by Commissioner Corson. And with that, I'm going to ask you to tabulate the votes.
Sure. We'll tabulate the vote to adopt item number 2, beginning with you, Dr. Davis.
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsan?
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes? All ayes, and the item is unanimously adopted and carries forthwith.
Thank you, Mr. Banks.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a good weekend.
Appreciate it.
Dr. Davis, before you move on to this administrative item, I was just told that the members joining us via Zoom did not hear my announcement for public comment, and just want to offer them that if you would like to speak on public comment or
Most
any
def-
agendized item,
Most definitely. And that would be on item 2, is that correct?
yes, or any item, since
Oh,
I
sure.
was told they didn't hear me. You may press *6 to unmute and *9 to raise your hand. Thank you. And number 3 is no
Okay, no.
speaker.
Okay, wonderful. So now we will take item 3. This is an administrative item. Board of Public Works 2024-0273, specification submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. Council District 4, Chandler Boulevard, Cycle Track Gap Closure, rebid, WOE 190-8850, estimate at $4,045,845. Bid receipt date Wednesday, June 26, 2024. Can we have a second to my motion to accept administrative item 3? Thank you.
I second.
Yeah, yes, thank you. A second to my motion by Commissioner Reyes. Can you tabulate the vote?
Yes, we'll tabulate the vote to adopt item number 3, beginning with you, Dr. Davis.
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsan?
Aye.
And Commissioner Reyes? All ayes, and the item is unanimously adopted and carries forthwith.
With that, we have oral reports. We have item number 4, Board of Public Works 2024-0274, status update on major upcoming street improvements from the Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, President
Okay,
Davis.
we have one handout for this.
My name is Paul Bingaman. I'm superintendent with the Street Renewal Division of Streets LA, and this information is being provided to keep the public informed on upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact on the community as well as delays. For additional information or concerns, you can contact our coordinating section for Street Renewal Division at 213-847-3200. There are no major street projects scheduled for the Metro or Valley region resurfacing regions during the week of May 5th, 2024 through May 11th, 2024. However, we will provide an update on our 23-24 pavement preservation program. During the week of May 5th, 2024 through May 11th, 2024, the Valley and Metro regions will complete 16 projects for a total of 9.14 lane miles. The press releases were distributed and notifications have been issued. Streets LA coordinated with the council offices to assist in the outreach to stakeholders. We have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. This information is also available at the Streets LA website using the resurfacing open projects icon. And this concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions of commissioners on this item 4? Hearing and seeing none, thank you so very much. Have a great weekend.
And we have one speaker on this item, Dr. Davis, Mr. Sachs.
Oh, Mrs. Sachs, thank you.
Yes, thank you again. Arnold Sachs. Item number 4, status update on major upcoming street improvement projects. Again, it's about that laser-like focus. You fucking missed the boat. Are you talking about street improvements in the city of Los Angeles or in another city? Like maybe in St. Louis, where that kid got shot for the uplifting stupidity. There's so many fucking streets in the city of Los Angeles that are fucked up. You have flooding on every street when it rains. You have runoff. You have potholes. Have you driven down Wilshire Boulevard and seen how if you paid, it's a roller coaster ride. They're still trying to do that bus only lane for 10 years. The efficacy of this board and the people that work for Public Works is all about, well, pay for break time. You're stealing public money. You're stealing Measure R money. You're stealing Measure M money. Ever since the threat at the MTA board, is this LaDOT or is this LaDOT or is this LAD? Is this Dash? Which is it? They're separate entities, aren't they? Dash has got an investment from United Artists. What the fuck is going on? The whole city is going in a toilet. There's hundreds of thousands of people that are homeless. The sidewalks are all fucked up. Who's doing the bidding? Who's getting the contracts? I remember there was a big deal about the Crenshaw line, about who was getting the work. It was going to Orange County. Now it's really fucked up. It's so racist. You can cut it with you can cut the cheese with a wooden coffee stirrer.
Your time is up, Mr. Sachs.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have item number 5, Board of Public Works 2024-0275, Office of Community Beautification, and this item is being continued until Friday, May 10th. That concludes, have we hit every item on the agenda for today?
Dr. Davis, we have the minutes of April 19, 2024 available if you would like to move to approve those.
Yes, I move to approve those minutes,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Corsan.
And we'll tabulate the vote to approve the minutes of April 19, 2024, beginning with you, Dr. Davis,
Davis, aye.
Commissioner Corsan,
Aye.
and Commissioner Reyes. All ayes, and the minutes are approved for April 19, 2024. And that concludes the items on this agenda.
Thank you so much. That concludes our agenda for the meeting of May 3rd. The next regular scheduled board meeting is Wednesday, May 8th. The meeting is adjourned at this time. Thank you.